stress and anxiety has me struggling to stay on ketosis. What can I do? Um, First of all, you are not alone. Uh, so stop beating yourself up about stress and anxiety. I don't know what it is right now, but I actually seem to be in a season in my life where I am feeling more stressed and more anxious myself. And that does have an impact on my activity levels, my sleep quality, my interactions with other people in my life. And it's been more difficult to kind of get amped up for the things that I really have been enjoying over the past 4 or 5 months since we came home. I think, at this point, we're at the where this fatigue is starting to set in. And we talked about this on our members chat on Thursday, where you feel like you're in this caged life. So we're trying to find ways to break free from this cage, and sometimes that can manifest itself in positive ways, and sometimes it's really negative ways. If you recognize this in yourself, that's a good thing, because you're way ahead of other people if you recognize uh, that stress and anxiety are having an impact on you, rather than just letting it happen, letting it wash over you, letting things get worse and worse and worse. If you can recognize it and acknowledge it for what it is, you're ahead of the curve already. So when you feel like quitting on yourself, show up. My wife has written in Sharpie, or not Sharpie, but in marker on our mirror, or on her mirror, to keep the promises that you make to yourself, right? It's so easy to break promises that we make with ourselves, because we're the only ones we're disappointing. But if you look at that statement and just say, I made a promise to myself to show up and to eat right today, and to do my best and do some exercise and go to sleep at a reasonable hour and do all of these things, right, that make up um, your routine, a good routine. uh, you need to try and honor those commitments that you've made to yourself. And again, those can be really difficult when you're the only person that they're impacting. You also need to reframe failure, right? Failure is not the end. Failure is, you could build uh, a great city on the amount of failures, each failure being a brick that is you put in place until the thing that you're trying to do is complete, right? Um, I would say that my life has been a series of failures that led to small successes along the way, and failures and small successes eventually lead to big success. Now, I can look back and laugh at the times that I've epically failed, like, you know, getting on the phone and asking a girl out for the first time, which was a terrible failure, uh, you know, taught me something about myself and what I really wanted out of relationships. So I wouldn't have learned those things if I hadn't have failed. And now I'm looking at my own kids and realizing that they're going to fail so much in their lives, but I can't fix that for them. And the only way for them to get to where they're ultimately going is to fail and fail forward and keep learning from those mistakes. Um, so pay attention to your thought patterns. This is another thing that I always think about. Why is it so, people think, why is it so easy for everybody else? Why can't I figure this out? Why can't I just stick to keto? It seems so easy for everybody else. It's not easy for everybody else. You're not the only one who has failed at something before. We are wired to seek out pleasure and reward, and food has been a reward and a pleasure center for us for so long that it is really hard to unwire that part of our brain. So when you hear people say it's easy, either they're not telling you the truth, or they've forgotten what it was like to have a really big struggle. And I think about the human psychology and some of the things, like, right, when a woman gives birth to a baby, and it's without medicine or anything like that, and it's extremely painful, and I have no idea what this is like, but the body's pretty smart. Like, it sends out a bunch of chemicals after the fact to kind of make you forget what that, physically what that experience was like. Otherwise, not a lot of people would want to have another kid if all they remembered was the great amounts of pain that they had to go through to get that first kid, right? So we often discount the struggles and the pain and the heartache that we've been through and forget what it was like to struggle. And we say, it wasn't, in the end, it really wasn't all that hard to lose that weight or to get into ketosis. But maybe at the time, if you really think about it, it really was a struggle for you. And now you just feel so good that you can't even really remember how much pain and how much anguish and how much hurt that you had to get over to get to where you are today. So we like to say, this is something Brendan Burchard came up with, is honor the struggle, because the struggle is so important that you need to honor it so that you don't discount it, don't forget what got you to where you are, and to live in the moment and realize that struggling is good. If you're not struggling, you're not trying. Things to try. Tara's got a new playlist that she's been messing around with. She has got a playlist on Spotify. I don't exactly know how to share it with you, but she's probably got it shared on one of our pages, maybe. And I've got a note here that I'm supposed to come up with a playlist. Now, my playlist is going to be completely different from Tara's, except for maybe one song. I really like The Greatest Showman, and so I'll put one of those Greatest Showman songs on there, probably the one with Panic at the Disco. I really like that one. And then use your daily planner. So if you are a planner type of person, use your daily planner to keep yourself accountable to your goals on a daily basis. Tara has a deluxe version of the planner coming out at the end of July, and it's going to be pretty nice. I know there's going to be sticker packs and some other kind of stuff in there. And then craft a mission and commitment statement to yourself, right? So and mission statements should be extremely actionable. They shouldn't be kind of woo-woo. Nobody, we want to, there's really awful mission statements out there, but there's some really great ones. And the more actionable it can be, the better. Like my mission could be to help 100 people lose 20 pounds over the next 3 months, right? That's a mission statement. It's quantifiable, it's reasonable, and it's something that I'm passionate about, right? So you need to make a mission statement that you can attain. And then when you meet it, make a new mission statement. So there's some other things like group coaching. We do some group coaching. There's other group coaching out there. Find something that really works for you. If this is your version of group coaching with me on Sunday Lives, perfect. That is fine too. Find something that you resonate with and stick with it. Post your commitment statements. Put it on the background of your phone. Post it. Write it on your bathroom mirror. I talked about Tara's thing that said, keep the promises that you make to yourself. Post it on a note card in your office cubicle, and maybe set up reminders on your phone that go off a couple of times a day. And, like the reminders can just pop up on your screen and say be intentional, go hug somebody, something like that, something that is going to get you up, remind you of what you're doing today, and remind you of why you're trying to stick to this keto diet.